we were having such a good time, Cad.
I know, right?
There it is.
Chad, we watched
Oh.
Deadpool 2. It was awesome.
So. Yeah, I can't really stream Deadpool 3, so.
You just lack courage.
Isn't that gonna be a Hulu?
No. There is okay, so Marvel ain't releasing Deadpool on a streaming service anytime soon. That is gonna be a box office like blitz, okay? They're gonna leave that in theaters for months.
Yeah, but Marvel's owned by Disney now.
Yeah, exactly. And look at Disney's freaking sales this year for movies and shit. They need that shit.
That's because Disney ain't shit.
Their entire year is dependent on Deadpool.
Oh god, no.
Inside 2 did good, no? Inside Out 2?
I didn't watch it.
It didn't do good. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you know what else came out this year? Madam Web.
That was dog shit.
Wait, I haven't even heard of that one yet.
Good. You know what else is supposed to come out this year? Kraven and Venom 3.
Oh, god damn it.
No, it's literally all of Marvel's currently baking on Deadpool 3.
Okay, ChatCAD starts at 211 Saint cards. That's why it's less than 511 or more than 511.
Yeah.
No, I just thought I would clarify.
Yeah, Torak just continued from the yesterday's rolls.
Smart.
I mean, yeah, it's for authentic role experience.
Oh, 100%.
They're both good.
The baby.
I like them for different reasons. Like I said, I love Juggernaut. Juggernaut makes the movie for me just because compared to X3's Juggernaut.
Yeah.
No, he fixed it.
Yeah,
the post-credit scene.
It's all.
Oh,
we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Timey-wimey.
Yeah. It goes well.
The kid will be walking.
Technically, he's sterile in the comics, so I was always confused on the baby talk.
I think the cancer kind of would make him sterile. No.
Yeah, he is sterile in the comics, so.
Well, that's probably when you're going to find out that he's sterile in the movies.
Timeline corrected. He's no longer sterile.
Timeline corrected. He fucks.
I do want him to bring in Lady Death, though. Like.
Right. Fine.
Yeah.
But then Thanos has to come back and fight for her.
Yeah, and it's perfect because Josh Brolin is also. He's Cable and Thanos.
Yeah. Thanos. Cable. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's because he didn't use his classic quote of, "It's Thanoing time."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snapping all over them like a modern poetry slam.
In the comics, the whole reason Thanos does like the Infinity Gauntlet and everything and kills them wasn't to like balance the world. It was to impress Lady Death, because he was jealous of her relationship with Deadpool. Because so I can't remember what came. I actually think it did not.
And he's also technically in it. of his home planet.
Yeah. Well, that was mentioned in the internals. It was
Yeah.
hinted. All right, well,
Hello. Good evening. Okay. How's it going today, chat? Wait a minute. Why is my... God, I've gotta fix this mic. Anyways. Alright, chat, I just got the tweet out. Do me the favor, go give that some love. Boom, 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 boom. Add today's sauce for y'all. Thank you to whoever song requested this. I don't know what to say, I'll say it anyway. Today is not my day to find you. On me, take me on. I'm not hitting that note. You gotta really squeeze your balls to hit that one, chat. Okay, we're good to go. Hello, how's it going? Here is today's artwork. Go give the artists some love because they drew Musashi in spandex. Yep, bonus karaoke stream perhaps one day. That may be something on the docket eventually if chat can find enough songs that I am cognizant of the lyrics of. You must not have the lung power for that? No, it's not an issue of lung power. It's an issue of, like, my voice doesn't want to go that high pitch without cracking. Attack on Titan Musashi, pretty much. So, chat. There was absolutely no news today. Honestly, in a good way, right? Like, but we've kind of had like a day where like every single time we've had something for FGO for a while. So like, this is like one of the first days there was like truly no actual news that came out. Nothing happened, and that's actually a good day because that does allow us to talk about some other stuff. Particularly for those of you guys that haven't seen it, we got a little bit of a teaser out there. Where was it? Where was it? Apparently, Aurelia decided to be a little bit cheeky and actually get out there and reveal herself. So, if you guys would like that, do me that favor. Karaoke challenge, learn the Shika Noko 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 Koshi Tan Tan opening. I mean, but that part's the easy part. Learning actual Japanese to be able to sing the rest of the lyrics is difficult. It's like, the rest of it's just a pattern. And that's not hard. We are evolved from apes. We have pattern-seeking brains, so that part's the easy part. What happens if you get 4 Ibukis in one roll? Well, that just means that I get a viral clip at that point. So, I'd say I win. It would also mean that I got out like a bandit and did not have to roll a ton. So, I'll take it. How many copies of Ibuki? I missed part 1. We only have 1. I'm going to be rolling a copy a day. Yeah, that is on the docket for today. We'll be rolling another copy of Ibuki. I got to get my AP down first. Also, apparently, collect profits. I believe we do have the 90 plus and 90 plus plus nodes coming out tomorrow. if you guys haven't already, check out the video that I put out there on how to, think about 90++ content. It's a good idea. In the meantime, I am going straight back into doing stuff. I do have my MLB drop C up for anybody that maybe already has a ton of the actual bonus from stuff, but I assume a lot of people rolled for these banners, so I assume it's not a big deal. I'm actually going to try to refresh to see if somebody has an MLB here. Not seeing one yet. Fair assessment, indeed. Rejecting Ibuki, gonna drop everything in the summer through. Hey, that's perfectly fine. And I've said this before. Again, you guys do not have to feel like you absolutely have to roll Ibuki or that you need to do what I'm doing. Please understand, there is obviously going to be a disclaimer where Cat is content creator and doing things for content creation reasons. That is obviously going to be a thing. Ice MLB is hard. Yeah, I mean, there are a couple people that have it. I haven't gotten a drop, so I can't MLB mine yet, but we're close. So I don't have the means to roll for Ibuki right now. That's perfectly fine. Summer Ibuki plus Lady Avalon is very addictive. Oh, definitely. I'm not running it for this node just because it's Zerker on Zerker. And I needed to actually, because of the 5-star CEs, I needed to actually use a 4-star for the looper. At least if I wanted to keep bonding MHX on my backline, which I did, so. I have Saito NP5. Do you recommend a level 100 Black Grail or MLB Damage C for 90++? I don't know. Is Avalon here? I was gonna say there's Avalon. That's actually the topic of a video that I'm probably going to be doing soon. I can't tell you off the top of my head. From what I remember, usually the damage C is superior. And I believe the way it goes is like this. I believe it usually goes MLB damage, then MLB Black Grail, then damage, then normal Black Grail. Is usually the order of strength, if I remember correctly. And we are assuming that if you have a MLB Black Grail, that it is maxed out. So if you don't have an MLB damage sheet, it usually tends to be that way. But again, we are assuming, hey, you've managed to MLB it. If you haven't, that's another issue entirely, but it is what it is. Avalon is usually lurking. To be fair, sometimes Avalon's a little late to stream, so I wasn't sure. I've maxed out every single attraction. These last 1.5 million visitor points is going to go by fast. Pretty much. I haven't maxed them out, but they're close for me. Do you think we'll finally get Bond 20 for 9th Annie? It's possible. I kind of talked about that's certainly on the docket. I think a lot of people are going to want them to address that. Whether or not they do is another story entirely. I'm going to have a little bit of high hopes here in the hopes that they actually do manage to fix some of the issues that we have with the game, but there's no guarantee. And that's why I would caution everybody about getting their hopes up too much, because I don't think it's going to be good for us mentally if we all start pinning all of our hopes and everything on this anniversary and they don't fix some of the things. So Grail level 150, please God. I've thought about the fact that they might actually just allow us to expand kind of our leveling so that now we can just level people up even higher, but it just depends. I have no idea how to do the 90++. So fair, my advice is find a really good single target saber, particularly one that is loopable and or damage bonus. Hoku Saber can be a really, really good option for you. And from there, you should be able to just kind of work them through the nodes and have them kind of just make do, right? Is it usually this silent before JP Annie? Yeah, to a degree, right? We kind of watch as like every like late spring to early summer, the devs kind of go quiet. That is 100% why you guys got two back-to-back rerun events. They'll sit there and they'll say they were doing it for the players, but it's 100% done for like them to help them have time to work on other stuff. So, Anastasia, thank you for the follow. And thank you to Jimmy who followed while I was offline. I have to contemplate then? Yeah. I want more master levels for the party cost. I would tell you that even if you got more master levels, you're only going to get like one more party cost. That's just kind of been how they've been. So I would not anticipate that you're going to get a ton. Did you see the merch they're getting for the JP Annie? I want that Castoria summer cap. I have not. Actually, if you have a link to it, I'd love to take a look. Does Hoku Saber hit that hard? She has damage bonus, and yes. Because you should have NP5 of her. Is NP5 required for Saito? That's a good question. I actually don't remember off the top of my head. I believe that it might have been NP5, but I was going to say, I thought it was something less than that, but I don't want to say the wrong thing here, so I'll just say that I don't know. That's probably the safer statement. And I know that's going to come out as like a cop-out, but it is the truth. I actually don't know off the top of my head what NP level for Saito works. Only have 5 Saber single target, and only one that can loop is Lancelot, but is NP1 with level 6 skills. I mean, the other option there is to maybe try to handle it with 2 of them, but that can be a little bit difficult when you've got a 1 million HP in Kidu. I'll say this, though, Fair. Don't worry about 3-turning it too much, either. There's no, like, pressing need for you to go all out, so if it takes you, like, more than the 3 turns in order to clear the node, it's still worth doing. It's still a good thing to try and run. I wouldn't get, like, super upset if you can't 3-turn it. Sorry, Akame. I think that killed your link, but I got it. The rockin' world go round. Which cultured individual requested this? Mail, I see. Yeah, it's funny because like when we were going over this the other day, I stuck mostly to the schedule. I did not look at like, hey, this is the actual stuff. So let me take a quick look here. Why did that go like off my screen? That was super weird. So I already translated this to English. Zoom in just a tad. What do we got? It looks like you've obviously got a new okay, it says album, but I think it's a actual just like art book. Again, you can get a just sort of like a poster, a actual like printout of the key visual. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like hate this visual by any means. Obviously, it's really cute and wholesome, but like it's actually a pretty like okay one for like all of their anniversary ones that they've done. Like I don't think it's the best in any way, shape, or form. I will say this. I am very sad that they go like, hey, buy our acrylics. Because I have seen people like criticize before. Is Scotty supposed to come tomorrow or later? Scotty comes 29 hours from now, roughly. Aller, thank you for the 8 months. Do you think I can 90++ with NP3 Arc and Summer BB card lock? Maybe. I'd have to remember whether or not Enkidu is chaotic. That would be the bigger question there. I think Nito can kill the first node with insta-kill. That's certainly possible. But yeah, no, the only issue I was gonna say with this is that like it's kind of rough that we don't get like more robust merch from them, and we instead get stuff like the acrylics in that regard. Because this is something that like any artist can do. There's services that literally provide this stuff, so they can just go like, hey, give me an acrylic of my thing, give me a keychain of my thing, yada yada yada. So it's like I don't think it's bad, but I also feel like, you know, I would expect more out of Aniplex. Clear file with original illustrations by Servant. This is actually pretty nice, especially because it is some of the anniversary stuff. The interesting part about this is we do not have all of the Annie like craft essences yet, so we don't know what all the art will be. Spirit Origin summoning badge, yada yada yada. Rubber charm with original illustration by Rio. Okay, these are cute, but like still feels like it's relatively like samey. Wonder if they pay Rio to do stuff like that. Multi-case with original illustration by Rio. Image art A4. That's not bad. Especially that Mordred one. Yeah, look at that. You got Mordred, thick-thighed Canis. And then this was the really cool, like, Saber Wars one. I low-key think that we should get another Saber Wars. I feel like it'd be really cool. And I feel like they actually should begin to run Saber Wars on a regular basis, because I know I'm a Star Wars fan and all that, but like it feels to me like it's such a good event for like you can just take any servant and twist them in the context of that event, and it starts working like really cool. So I would love to see this sort of like what if space version of all the like characters. Yeah, it looks like we got different colored t-shirts there with the logo. The official muffler towel. And again, I would assume that almost all this stuff's going to end up coming to NA eventually as well. You can get a brooch. Interesting. Not sure I would really want that, but I guess. Command code acrylic keychains. Yeah, I'm surprised that there's so many darn acrylics and that they're not doing more. Oh, chat, you guys can get the paper bag for Karen. Brooch? Brooch? No, brooch is like to broach a subject. Brooch is like the thing that you'll wear on your collar a lot of the time to hold stuff together, like a cape or something. For instance, Aurelia has a brooch. Here, I could show it to you easy. So, like this right here, chat, it's a little bit like, oh my god, of course, potato quality when the video first loads. Thank you, Twitter. Very cool. So, like this right here, right in the middle of Aurelia's design, is a brooch. But I don't think you necessarily have to wear it like right there. You could definitely like pin it to other things and stuff. A Saint Quartz pin light? What? Okay, that's kind of cool. I'm sad that it doesn't like light up in all the colors though. That's disappointing. I feel like that should totally like light up in different colors. From the Idol event? Yeah. Hawati. Oh my god, they have fluffy Chernunos. And these are all from the next year's summer event, not the current one that we're doing, but You can see. They have Chibi Oberon with a ducky inflatable. That's good. Wait, is this basically Jenga, but instead it's Chernunos? That's what it feels like. Oh, yo, yeah. That's definitely nice. And let's see, that's 3,500 yen. That's basically like 35 bucks. It's actually not that bad. Because hats are freaking expensive depending on what you're trying to buy and wear. Oh, there's I know this is the one that that Maestro wanted, the Oberon hoodie. Honestly, like the Oberon hoodie doesn't look bad. I actually do like the design of it. Other than you'll look like you're like trying to assault someone on the street. But see, to me, this is more inventive merch rather than just like, oh, we just made a ton of acrylics. And I think this is better stuff. Fairy Night clear tote bag. The Rain Witch robe hooded blanket. I wish we could see more of that, but I guess not. Melisson Strong Suyo Suyo. UDK emblem sticker patch. I bet Fox is going to get that. The Barghest Loco Moco Bowl. More acrylics. Good a temple amulet charm. The beaten sticker sticky note. The Takeda handle key case. I'm like low-key surprised they can actually do stuff like that. Given the fact that there is still a Takeda clan around. Maybe they got permission or something. Maybe some of the proceeds go to them. Masking tape? Good lord. Free gift towel, 2 types. If it's free, why is there a price? I am assuming that's a translation error. Ah, yes, the Artorium charm. Huh, that's interesting. Why does it translate as Artorium? I wonder. The gold saber badge. I'm surprised you can't like see the back of it. Oh, the wanted posters. That's great. Yeah, they were basically like One Piece level wanted posters. Oh, chat, it's not the faux hat, but it's close. The Chernunos headband. Alphon, please. Thank you for the follow. A doujinshi style notebook. You know, it'd be even better if it came with a doujinshi in it. Yeah, so you can see like that's the Huyanzhou art from next summer, which is like just amazing. Like the thighs on that. Oh, Everdark. Yeah, that's basically like Helsing at that point. There's some pretty cool ones though. And it looks like that's it. I was just curious to see what else they had. But yeah, no, I mean, like, towards the bottom, you get some more interesting stuff. But like I said, to me, there's just like, hey, yo, buy an acrylic of all this stuff. And I'm like, no, right? Like, I feel like it actually would be cool to see more like clothing based merch rather than like, hey, it's all just a bunch of like tchotchkes and tokens. What's up, Angora? How's it going? Okay, let me switch back. I do like the baseball cards. Were they there? I didn't see them. Hello, Persh. You can buy most of this stuff in Queens. Yeah, most of the stuff, in all seriousness, like, you don't need to actually try. Like, when it's fresh out of the box, it might be difficult to find some of the stuff, but usually this sort of stuff either trickles over to the States or ends up in like merch shops and stuff like that over time. So I'm usually not too concerned about it. Like, if there's an item you really want, you typically can get your hands on it. And then even then, like 2 years from now, they'll end up selling it on their own over here. The interesting part about this is a lot of the time, like, the stuff that you're going to buy direct from Aniplex is going to have a markup. And I'm not saying that that's like not the case with a lot of merch. It is, but like, usually, you know, buying direct from them at one of these things doesn't save you money. You would actually think it would, but it tends not to. What intermediary do you go through? I'm trying to remember exactly how I did it the last time. Because, like, I've, and just so you guys can see here. So, like, up there, I have several of the, what is it, Ichiman Kujis. Like, just, I've got, like, Nindos and other stuff like that that are basically the, almost knocked it down. That are basically, like, just kind of like stuff that I've acquired over the years. Some of that is from Japan, and I'm trying to remember how I've actually gotten it, because, like, I think I actually managed to get some of it through, like, their version of, like, either Amazon or Yahoo or something, and I don't remember how I did, but I think there was at least one time where I used an intermediary, but it was through a website, and I don't remember which one. It's been a hot second since I've actually tried to, like, purchase anything direct from overseas. So I unfortunately can't tell you off the top of my head. Bai might have been one of them. To be fair, you can find most stuff in New York. Oh yeah. I mean, whether or not it's legitimate or not, it's another thing entirely, but it is what it is. They were the last item? Oh, God, yeah, that must have been my issue there. Then, like, and some of it was like, oh, hey, get this random item, which I thought was rather weird, rather than being like, hey, you know, I would prefer to buy, like, maybe this specific card or something like that. I know they act as intermediary for Gunpla. Yeah, Bai tried to sponsor me one time. I don't think I actually went through with the sponsorship. It was nothing, no issue on their part. They were just trying to sponsor me in the middle of tax season. I literally didn't have the time. Plus, I believe at that time I was pumping out videos on a daily basis. So it was extremely difficult to, like, actually get a sponsor in. Have you ever played any Final Fantasy game? Yes. Yes, I have. Hardest thing to find is the 2018 Fate Stay Night Saber gift plush. Yeah, definitely some of the old plushies can be hard to actually acquire at this point, especially because they're usually high in demand. Wait, this is JP. Yeah, okay. I had to think, because I was like, I swear I just saw Rising Mud Rain on someone's support. If I remember correctly, you need all the attractions level to 10 to unlock the CQ, right? Do you? I didn't think you did. But maybe I'm not remembering correctly. How are the rolls? We have not finished rolling yet. We did the rolls yesterday, and we were incredibly lucky, but we'll be doing more today. If you guys are just coming in, don't feel like you missed anything yet. I'm just whittling down my AP first. And you need certain levels for extra side quests. That could be a thing. So maybe if it's like you have to complete all the side quests, that might be it. I haven't touched any of my side quests yet. It's clear epilogue too. Okay. Or required for the Vault copies. Yeah. You need level 10 for at least one side quest. Yeah, like I said, that I'm unsure of because I haven't had to do any of that myself. But I believe you guys. It's just like getting everything to level 10 to unlock the CQ seemed a little like, I would be surprised if they required that. Because some people might not, right? My NP2 just one shot away of 140k and 210k. Guess they were Earth attribute. Right. So like keep in mind you will have some super effectiveness in there, and also if you're doing stuff in the event, right? Like you're gonna have damage bonus. Ibuki is going to be the top possible damage bonus for the event. So and I'm not trying to like make it sound like Ibuki's bad or anything like that. Just don't let the damage numbers go to your head just yet. Just because again, like that sort of thing will change. There you go. Hope everyone's ready to pick their Valk. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine anyone's going to have a hard time with that. If you do, feel free to, like, let me know. I'll try to help in whichever way I can, but it's really just a cosmetic choice. There's no difference in gameplay. So a lot of that's just going to come down to taste. What do you mean Ibuki doesn't normally do 2 million plus damage? She probably can in the right circumstances. And my NP3 Arcuate is only as strong as my NP1 versus Berserkers. I mean, at least versus Berserkers, your Arcuate's still going to be strong, right? DC time. I know so many people that went like, oh my god, she has green hair, I'm picking her for that. I've actually been very pleased that they keep putting reindeer in the actual story. That one has at least been interesting to see. At least all their pins are the same too, unlike the Mecha Ellie's. True. Though to be fair, like back when Mecha Ellie was originally coming out, pins weren't even a thing, so nobody really realized. But yeah, I find that's kind of stupid. Her costume looks like Hollow from Spice and Wolf. You're talking about Gear Skogel? Or are you talking about well, I guess it doesn't really matter. But I just assume you're talking about the brunette-haired Valkyrie. Oh, whatever. Talking about ears, yeah, that's Gear Skogel. I have no idea, and I just want to say this: it's incredibly weird to me that they abbreviated that name to ears, because it would be Gerskogel, I assume is how you say it, and I'm probably butchering it. I'm sorry, Torak, if you're out there. But like, I don't know why they abbreviated it to something like that. At least with like with Final Fantasy, we have a move in the Dragoon set that is called Gerskogel, and I gotta assume at least a good chunk of the like the weeb fandom understands that word now because of it, so it's just rather odd to me. Oh, I guess we're doing all Oberon cards. Wait, you fucked up with the NP gauge, no? No. At least that's the case in German. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. I may be pronouncing it wrong myself. But I remember having to like look up how to say it because like when it first came out in Final Fantasy years ago, people were all like, how the hell do you pronounce that? So that ended up being a thing. Probably meant to be more Eris rather than Iris. Perhaps. I wish Cad could trade me 4 Summer Gareth copies. I just grilled her to level 100 because she's my pure strawberry. I'm sorry, I can't. I gladly would if I could. Is the letter we use in Norwegian for the sound you make? Oh, so that like 0 with the cross through it is the sound when I go like ah la 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 la. Because you didn't specify which sound. It matches my Grailed Lancer Gareth, understandable. It's called Giskerugu. Giskeguru. Interesting. The IRS is the part after the G, though they should have just used gears then. Yeah, it's a weird abbreviation that I don't feel like anyone in English would normally use. So like that's one of those weird ones where I'm gonna say this, Chad. I'm sorry, but like I normally feel like the localization team does a pretty good job. That's one of those where I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck you were thinking. Like, it's not a huge deal. I'm not gonna like get upset about it. It's just one of those where I go like, who thought that was the good idea? Like, it just doesn't seem like it has any logic to it to me. Like, you could have just called her like Gear or something like that, and that would have been a thing, right? Heck, even SCO, I feel like, would be a better abbreviation than that. What was their JP nickname? I have no idea. They may not have even been abbreviated on JP. As bad as my Ibuki rolls were, at least I'm swimming in Eris copies now. Nice. Yeah, I do feel like the Calaman, thank you for the stream streak. I do feel like the tweaking of the 4-star rates with these solo rate up 4 stars is just really freaking good. What did I just do right there? Did I just not use the NP? Was that a thing? Did I just tap like 3 cards in a row? Farming scuff, it happens. Especially when I'm busy reading chat and talking about Norwegian names and their abbreviations. Is Summer Ibuki stronger than Arjuna Alter? I would say certainly against something like Earth Attribute. I feel like without it, there's probably a good run that Arjuna Alter is going to give her. I'd have to actually see the comparative numbers. I did the video on her, and I'm sure in that video I covered Arjuna Alter's numbers. But don't ask me. There, we'll do it like that. I must have tapped like Castoria's NP, but not my damage dealing NP. JP also used Aeris. Okay, so that's probably why then. At least that gives it a little bit more context because they just tried to use the same one that Japan did. But I'm going to be real with y'all for a second. That is the entire point of localizing something. If you were going to localize it and it was going to make no sense to the people that you were localizing it to, that's the good time to actually, like, you know, make a change. Assuming that it makes more sense for the community that you're doing it for. I'm still not a huge fan of changing it, and I'm usually a proponent of keeping things the way that they are. But this is one of those rare circumstances where I think it would have just been better had they actually made a small tweak to it. But I kind of understand it was probably just a stick with the code. Due to the name being associated with the IRS, yeah, I mean, I assume most people didn't associate it with that, but yeah, 100%, right? Gears would be fucked since it's a mechanical part and not a name. Yeah, and that's like, I get it, right? Who is that saber? That is Yamato Takeru, aka basically our collab saber from earlier in the year. It doesn't even make sense in English since the pronunciation is different. Like I said, it's not a huge deal. It's just one of those that I looked at that and that was just a head scratcher for me. At least Avalon like told us what it was, so that gives it a little bit more context, right? Peach Heart Smash, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. For Gore, I'm glad you didn't forgore. You're still at 48 months. Thank you, Residente. How you doing? What is your recommendation to farm the 333 Berserker node? I mean, if the 333 Berserker node's giving you trouble, you could definitely try to like do some different stuff. But like, for instance, I'm just using like art supports right now, and then like my writer like Mordred, because it's just easy for someone like me. But trying to think what's actually in the node. I think it's giants, isn't it, chat? Anyone that's like anti-super large can be a thing. Probably not going to be a great use of you or to you, because like that'd be someone like Arthur at that point. Yeah, and a big Oni. So I don't know. I would say don't worry too much about like trying to get something super effective, and instead just maybe trying to like go through with your better damage dealers. Keep in mind you don't necessarily have to use supports. You can also just try to go through with like just actual damage dealers with some form of charge, particularly if you don't have craft essences for the event. But that's totally up to you. Again, everything's effective against Berserker, so at that point, like the obvious recommendation, something like Foreigners. But if you don't have that, then kind of go with your best damage dealers. Using Arcuid Summer Kama plus support caster A6C. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you could probably just try to find somebody's like pretty decent damage dealer on support, and then maybe take like Shu Fu of your own, and then like, I don't know, like if you manage to have like Waver or something like that. And then maybe any other like sort of tertiary support that you could cobble together, and that would at least get you the makings of some sort of comp for it. So just been using Double X Summer Abbey with damage C and support Purine. Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad strategy. I feel like that's kind of what the intent behind a lot of that stuff is. Is there a date for 9th Annie, or do they still have to communicate it? No, the date is the 3rd. I'm going to be putting out a video tomorrow on that. My Ibuki can 3-turn the current Berserker node without needing to use her own 50% charge. Yeah, a lot of that will be stuff like basically damage bonus that'll help with that. But damage bonus is just kind of leading to more overkill hits. Naturally, if you're using the right setups for it, it shouldn't be too difficult. It also might be a factor of what craft essence you're running on. Like if you have, say, I think it's like the 4-star CE is arts up with NP gain. That can be a thing. I believe the 5-star is Buster in arts. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember off the top of my head. So definitely some stuff there. God, Juno Oberon, Crane Sky of Light. Yep. You can definitely do stuff like that. You have a guess on what way they will give out Saint Quartz for 9th Annie? That's a little bit more difficult. I actually saw a pretty decent idea earlier today. Someone was saying something to the effect of like, give out a quartz per master level. And I'm like, not bad. Like that would at least incentivize people to like, you know, level up and play the game. It'd be a milestone that would progress as you play, and it would reward the veterans the most. So I think that's actually a pretty decent idea. What else they could do? It could be something tied to like class score completion. It could be stuff basically for, again, completing story. We can expect that they'll extend those milestones. So I don't think that'll be that crazy of a like prediction in that regard. But yeah, I do wonder, like, yeah, are they going to come up with something big, right? So there may be something that I can think of, and that would be, hear me out on this, chat, big brain idea. Big brain, okay? So I want y'all to take your thinking caps and put them on, okay? And here it is. So with my big brain idea here, it would basically be, what if you got quartz, and y'all are gonna scream. What if you got quartz for every Bond C you had unlocked? Yeah. Yeah, see, I told you y'all would scream. But here's the thing. Here's why I think that might actually be a thing. Okay? One, right now, whenever you unlock your Bond C, you don't get quartz. You just get the Bond C. It's just a thing, right? Two, the devs have said they are fixing Bond Cs. Three, they have warned you and told you to unlock as many of them as possible. So I'm not gonna say that will be a thing, but I could easily see it being something like that. And we'll just have to see. Like, maybe they set it at 10 quartz per, maybe they set it at 3, maybe they set it at 1. I have no idea. And I'm gonna say if it's set at something like 1 quartz per, chat, assume that that's not going to be the entirety of the way in which you would be getting quartz that anniversary, right? Like, you got to understand that depending on the scalability of such a feature, that they may include other rewards alongside it. Would be cool to see that come with a full Bond C overhaul, right? That's exactly what I'm thinking, is they might pull something like that out of their ass. Do you think Bond Cs will be reworked into a passive? That seems to be the dominant idea in the community. I have no idea if they have some trickeration up their sleeve. I've tried to think about what else they could do with it, but short of them just quote unquote fixing Bond Cs, I think that's a little bit more up in the air, right? Like, it really just kind of depends on what it would be that they would be trying to do in that regard. Cogger's time again? All right, because Strom only showed up for rolls, chat. Rolls have been delayed by another 15 minutes. If somehow FGO added a auto or skip feature on quality of life on 10th Annie to help with grinding, how would you think it would affect the game? So let me tackle that in two parts. The first part would be, I do not assume that they will ever add that. And the reason that I don't is because the dev's own statements have indicated that they never will. Wouldn't be the first time the devs have gone back on their word. Usually it's more to the detriment of us rather than to our advantage. But I don't think they ever will do it. Humoring the idea and the question, though, I would say that how I think it would affect the game is, I think the second there is an auto mode, the community would still be here, but I feel like the reliance on so much other stuff would get just horribly reductive. Everybody would resort to tier listing. Everybody would basically stop watching anyone play the game on the regular. I think people would just be autoing it. And to be fair, I feel like outside of challenge content, there would be no reason to stream the game on the regular. So I don't think it would necessarily be a good thing for the community. I feel like it would make people mentally divest and check out. Maybe even not right away. I feel like people would be like, "Oh no, I'm still gonna keep playing. It's gonna be a thing. I'm not gonna give up. I'm and then they would immediately resort to autoing and see you later in several months for summer again, or again something like Christmas or something, right? So I think you would still see the community come alive at certain points, but I feel like it would deepen the depths, the doldrums in between big events. Because they would basically be like, all right, cool. Day one of a new event. Oh God, what am I doing? Everybody roll, everybody roll, everybody roll. What am I doing? And then it would be dead until the next event. Is basically how it would look. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, especially as a content creator. I have obvious bias against it, but yeah, I'm not going to say it instantly kills the game. I think the advantage, in all seriousness, the advantage that it would have is lottos would become incredibly easy to farm. Not that they really aren't already, but Gone would be the like tenacity aspect from a lotto, where it's like you just got to keep going, and people would just immediately go, you know, like, all right, cool, I set up my auto grind and leave the computer. Would coins be fixed if they just increased coins per copy? No. You want to know why? You want to have to keep rolling? FGO's in a game like Star Rail where it has renewing challenge content as an in-game marker. It's a lot more focused on the grind of regular quests, I think. Yeah, like I said, I've seen people that have come in and they've been like, God, I hate the grind in this game. It's so long. And I'm like, I'll tell you what, at least you finish the grind. You eventually finish what you need for a unit and you move on to another one. As opposed to the eternal grind of there will just always be a better gear set by the time you finally manage to cobble together a good enough gear set for your existing roster. And that's why I don't really care for the relic system. Why does Anniversary for Fate seem like just banners to roll and not content like other games? I think you'd have to be specific as to what other games you mean, because I'm gonna be real with y'all. I could just mention Genshin. So, but no, I mean, like, there's definitely a lot of hype. Particularly, like, you won't see as much of it on the JP side because all the hype is in like live events that are going on over there. And I will say that in the past, we have had more stuff like memorial quests, whereas some years we're not getting that anymore. I think that's a mistake on their part. I think they should give us a little bit more to do at the anniversary. So again, humoring the question, yeah, I think they probably should do more on that front, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I feel like getting a banner and getting a shit ton of rewards is always good, and I'm not going to lick the gift horse in the mouth. So. Dokkan has it, for example, has a ton of events. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Dokkan. Like, obviously, some people in chat play, but I've never really seen what the gameplay loop of Dokkan is, so I can't commentate on that one. Nikkei usually has a huge story event for each Annie, half Annie. I was gonna say, are we basing it off of 1 year? Because like Nikkei has not been out that long. But yeah, like, could you have more? Sure, you could. I feel like you guys are going about it the wrong way though. If you're looking at this and you're going, why doesn't FGO have an event at its Annie? Because these other games do. You need to be asking yourself, is instead FGO running a good amount of events every year? That's the better question. And I think that answer depends on the player, depends on their expectations for the game, and certainly how long you've been playing. I think FGO anniversaries have kind of gotten worse, but they're not terrible. I wouldn't say that. Hold on, chat. Because I did see this. Yeah, this was actually a decent post posted to our Grand Order. Now, I don't know. Maybe they stole it. Maybe it was a thing. I don't like you right now, Reddit. Why do you do this? Okay. Oh my god. Hold on, chat. Okay. So like everyone's gonna say like, oh, I think I've gotten worse. Bet. Bet. Like, to be fair, chat, this shows a clear trend of going up, and it also shows you just how much of a fucking anomaly 7th Annie was. Okay? So, this is why I challenged this concept of like, oh, 8th Annie was bad. Better than 6th Annie. At least in terms of raw quartz reward. So it's like, yeah, you're going to hear people say this over and over and over again. And depending on how 9th Annie is, like, chat, what if for 9th Annie you got 600 quartz? Is that a bad Annie? I mean, shit. Beating the pants off the first 2 years. Beating the pants off the 3rd and 4th year. And it's still beating 5th and 6th year. And 8th year. So the only Annie it doesn't beat is 7th Annie. And this is why I keep trying to say this, chat. Please understand, 7th Annie was an anomaly. Don't expect it ever again. They were way too generous. I am happy they were that generous. I hope they do it again. But I think expecting it is kind of unreasonable. I think people are more fond of Annie 6 because of 120 grailing. Listen, so chat, don't take this the wrong way. Don't take this the wrong way. But I literally, unironically saw people, and this included in my chat, some of y'all were probably around for it. Some of y'all probably held this opinion that 5th Annie was bad because they didn't like Castoria. So after seeing those opinions, I've learned to just ignore people's opinion on this Annie's good, this Annie's bad. Because it's just like, I'm sorry, that's just smooth brain. Like that's the best way I can say that, right? Like, it's the truth. So at that point, yeah, I don't put much stock in individuals' expectations for anniversary, right? I judge it based off my own set of metrics. You guys can judge it too. You don't have to judge it based off mine, right? But when you start seeing stupid ass shit like that get thrown around, I don't know, right? So it is what it is. Basically, people are going to be disappointed no matter what you give them. Sounds like FGO average community. Yep, pretty much. All right, anyways. Let's go ahead and begin the roll session. This is going to be rolling for NP2 Ibuki. I was not attempting to stall y'all, just like one guide me into oblivion over and over again. Complain just to complain, right? So that's all I'm trying to say is like, do I think they could do better with like some other aspects of anniversary? Yes, I do, but I don't think it needs to be like, oh man, like what the hell? If we don't get 1,000 Saint Quartz, this is a terrible Annie. Like you're never gonna win with people at that point. Rolled Ibuki today, nice. Did you get her? I hope you did. That's average every community. It's just humans being humans. Right. I won't lie though, Castoria's banner was what made me take a break for FGO for a few months. Because you didn't get her, or because you were like burnt out with the game and you didn't like the fact that she was the Annie unit. Because that's, you guys know, I've always tried to do a little bit of deprogramming on this channel. I tried to like influence you guys for the better and like challenge the status quo thought processes of like, one, like if you don't get the unit, you're fucked. 2, you have to roll the unit. 3, if your favorite unit didn't get the thing that you want, this game is rigged and it hates you, like that sort of stuff. Like you see the community try to push a lot of these concepts out there. And that's why I try to be like your sanity check, because it's everywhere else you go, you're going to see that stuff. Which is also why some people hate me. because I just usually am the logic check on a lot of things. I don't know about clairvoyance until after Castoria, so I went into blind. Rolled for her because I adored her in the story. I didn't know about what she did till after I got her. Yeah. And hello, CZ, how's it going? She hates me for sure, right? I just want more than just 2 Annie portrait Cs. They're so good. Okay, now I'm gonna go into my insane mode here. You guys want a truly insane take. I actually didn't mind when they put all of them in the gacha. Because that year that they did, I collected all of them. I think they caught flack from people for that, but I was like, well, at least I got them all. Do you think we can finally get the ticket to be able to do a 10 times someday? Maybe. I could easily see that being the case at some point in the future. Swing. Oh, you're continuing? Yep. I almost forgot to claim the Annie CE tickets. It ends in 3 hours. Yes, guys, if you haven't gotten your picks for this year, for this year's anniversary on NA, okay? If you have not picked your commemorative CEs yet, do it. You're about to lose it. So this is your PSA. This is your warning. The last chance. Do it right now. Stop whatever the hell you're doing and go do it. Picked Mandricardo and Izo. I picked, I believe it was Okita and then obviously Lartoria. Biased. Thought it was a standard 300 again. Turek ran the Gamba for basically the amount we've already run. I picked Zenobia and Mash. Nice. The Zenobia one's not bad. I just wish they gave a third. Definitely were some other ones I would have liked to have picked. Lartoria Musashi easy, indeed. Yeah, this is like every year we get these CEs. You know what, chat? I'll give you a bigger brain take, okay? Give you a bigger brain take. Instead of giving us a craft essence gacha for the craft essences, give us skins, you cowards. Just picked Lartoria Musashi. Nice. Because like I know several people, like it usually is if you asked a bunch of people like which outfit they want the most, obviously there's some like originals. Let me farm some quartz here real fast, chat. Obviously there's some original costumes that have still not come into the game that people would want, but straight up I think once you get beyond that, people would just be like, yo, just actually give us the anniversary Cs as costumes. And people would just go nuts. And like you could start from several anniversaries ago, so that would give you like plenty of time to actually like allow yourself time to cook for more ideas. I wonder if they even realized how much they could make if they added them as paid skins for Annie. So there may be an issue with that. The issue might be that the CEs are usually probably commissioned art from an artist, so they might have to give the artist some sort of cut if they did that. But yeah, at that point I would say just give the artist some cut. In all seriousness, that would be a boon to your game, because you'd be able to just sit there and go like, hey artist, look, if you draw us craft essences, we might end up turning it into a skin, and you might end up making bank off of it, so you should definitely come and draw for us. Your favorite Final Fantasy OST? Ooh. I've definitely liked a lot of the 7 remake stuff, but I'm gonna have to go with 10. 10 is still my favorite. Though I will admit that 13 does have a couple good songs in it. Like Sunleth Waterscape's a really good one. I've seen Ranmaru's costume this year. She's not a favorite of mine as a servant, but that dress is gorgeous indeed. You may enjoy the soundtrack from 14. Oh, I've played 14, so yes. 14 counts as cheating. Same thing with 15, because 15, you have the car, and the car has like all the old songs in it. So 15 is also cheating. "13 soundtrack's great, but the game as a whole, yeah, it could be better." 16 had some bangers. 16's pretty good. I do like 16. You could definitely tell Soken cooked with that one. Oh, hi, K-Scope man. Just wrong version of you. Yep, there's my first one. We need that Samurai Remnant outfit for Musashi and FGO? Definitely. Gotta love Shiki no Uta. Time for them to add split stat K-Scope to dilute the pool even further. Yeah, I mean, like, in a weird way, I kind of understand what they're doing. They're adding of another version of K-Scope to the pool doubles your odds of getting a good craft essence. However, it lessens your odds of getting the good craft essence, and especially getting it to MLB. So, like, for early on, it's actually really good for the players. For later in, it's really bad for veterans. So, still usable for some weird support setups, though. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's a terrible CE, but I definitely understand why people want K-Scope and prefer K-Scope. Also for Scott, thank you for the follow. And I think that's Grimsley. I'm sorry if I butchered it. There's a smudge on my screen, so I cannot fully read your name. As well as Andy and Master Sorox. Thank you, guys. Be good for sports. Yeah, if you need to get the supports MP off right away, it can be okay, because it's at least going to scale you HP-wise. So it'd make them a little bit tankier. But I will say, odds are, if you're in a long, drawn-out fight, that's not likely to happen, right? Like, usually at that point, you're going to be taking something for longevity, less about like, hey, I need to get to the NP immediately, turn 1. But it can depend. There can be situations where that's the case. Are you going for NP5? Yes. Over time. NP5 Charlemagne and NP1 Ibuki. I have 30 Sandcourts, so I go for MP2 Ibuki or Summer Scotty. I'm gonna be real with you. You're not likely to get either. My advice, though, would be to straight up go for Summer Scotty at that point. What's the damage? Pinned at the top. Unless you're asking from YouTube. I will admit that there is a... Oh, I'm sorry. Nightbot got you. Yeah, let me transfer it over here so that YouTube chat has it. There you go. Now it's there. Yeah, it's no problem. Do you prefer... Hold on. Where did I see that? Do you prefer HP only scope route or single class Black Grail as an offshoot CE? Like, which is the better idea? HP only scope, or single class Black Grail as an offshoot C. HP only scope. Because the possibilities are endless for them to continue to keep adding additional classes to that. And I think that's the worst idea that they've given us. I really don't like that they did the only Berserker one. It is okay, but it is just inherently inferior to normal Black Grail. Khadroth, thank you for the follow. I have no Sankort. Should I play the campaign and try to save up NP Summer Ibuki, or should I wait till next year? If you really have nothing in the tank, Zeus, you can throw like everything you can scrap together at her, but I wouldn't expect anything. And at that point, it may just be better to continue to save into the future. It's totally up to you as to how you want to decide that. If you really feel like you really want her right now and that she's the good one, then go for it. But yeah, it can definitely be a thing. So at that point, I would tell you to probably like consider saving, but you're not going to be able to save very much in the short term anyways. So it's not really a big deal if you just go ahead and throw everything you can scrap together. It'd be too OP to have a C that gives an infinite +1 overcharge instead of one stack of overcharge. I would rather they gave like a turn duration one. So where it's like you have +1 for like 3 turns or something. I do believe that if it was truly infinite, that yes, that probably would be too strong. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't like the fact that so many of them are like one time, and then it's just immediately consumed on your first NP. Any thoughts on 8th Annie GSSR? Well, we already know what the 8th Annie GSSR is. Unless you're meaning 9th Annie. Kestrel would be broken, right? That's like, there would be certain units that would just be incredibly strong with it. When does Scotty drop? Scotty drops literally in 27.5 hours. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of questions about that, so you guys can tell I've already had to answer that question a lot because I just kind of have the timer ticking in my head now. Avalon had you covered. I know. I've had to answer it on my own, so it's fine. If you had the choice, would you prefer to be spooked by? Who would you prefer to be spooked by? Someone you don't have NP5 of yet. Feel like that's bait while I'm rolling. But probably Galatea. Because I don't have a Galatea yet. For as much as they rerun servants barring Arc. I wish we got more old C reruns. So they are starting to like put some of them in the shop, which is really, really nice. My friend really wants Summer Scotty. If he doesn't get her, I'll drop one multi-summon just to see if I can get lucky 3 times in a row. Wouldn't that just piss your friend off? Like, I'm not sure that's gonna be a good thing, right? Like, roll her if you want her, but is the 90++ free quest out? No, not till tomorrow. I think it comes out quite literally tonight with the next round of story. It'd be an evil spook too. Yes, I'm aware. That's why I immediately let off with that question is bait. Because I knew. I knew even giving an answer was just it was just tempting fate. Thaumacaster is not a bad one. I would love to get her to NP5. Actually, getting additional levels of Thaumacaster can be nice. With 300 Senkorts, I have a good chance to get Summer Scotty. You have an okay chance. Not guaranteeable, but it's an okay chance. You're right around average. Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited that the story will finally be wrapping up. A lot of I like this story, but there is way too much exposition and like character to character dialogue in this. I doubt they'll ever put Poster Girl or Honey Lake in the shop. I wouldn't say never, but yeah. Particularly the Taunt C. Oh, yeah, true. I mean, Honey Lake is Gacha. It's usually only the welfare ones. At which point, Poster Girl is also Gacha. Is 1800 Sankorts enough to NP5? Well, I rolled north of that number for NP5 Arcuid. It can be enough, but when you're dealing with NP5, there's a lot of variance. Poster Girl doesn't exist? Now, Peanut. Don't make me go show that it does. The fact that they put Poster Girl on a gacha means it's not coming anytime soon. They usually give a Poster Girl rerun about once a year. It's unfortunately combined with several of the other summer seas, so not summer, Halloween seas, so it's usually not a great time to grab it. Wait. No, sorry. What am I thinking of? Honey Lake is the one I was thinking of there. Poster Girl's from Guda Guda. So, like, it's... Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit rare. You see it usually maybe like once every 2 years at that point. What's a good catalyst for Summer Skadoodle? Ice cream. He really likes ice cream. Also, anything that cools you down. Fastest quartz farmer on the server. Holy fuck. Exactly. Artifact DLC connoisseur. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Destiny someone for 5-star CE sounds like a plan. Yeah, that wouldn't be terrible, right? I don't know how they would divvy it up into the various like types, but that would definitely be a really cool one. Hey, Cad, will text. You trying to slide into my DMs? Poster Girl Raid-Up would be OG. We do occasionally get them. There's also a Taunt C at Halloween, which is why I misspoke and said Halloween. I believe it's Halloween Arrangement is what that one's called. And what's the other one? I know there's Outrage from Chaldea Boys, but like I feel like there's still another one that I'm not remembering. There's not very many Taunt Cs in the game. During the summer event on an A, there are little announcements in the upper left corner. One says that Jason refuses to say if Medea is part of the Argonauts. Guess the grown-up version. Yeah. Jason's always been a dick to Medea. That's basically his whole shtick. He's just a dick to everybody to some degree. I looked up recently. There's 4 Taunt Cs in the game. Yeah. As I was saying, I know I'm misremembering one. There's at least one more. One turn invuln that makes it useless. I wouldn't say that necessarily makes it useless, just that it's more restrictive than the others, right? And how you doing, Artifact? Sad because it's the only one I have. Yeah. I mean, at least you can use it to redirect something, but yeah. I think the problem with that sort of stuff too is that it's going to be a issue basically whenever it comes down to stuff like, yeah, you need to sacrifice the target, but at that point, chat, they gave you a taunt C in servant form, and his name is Chin Gong. Does Outrage go on rate up every CBC? I don't think it's everyone, but occasionally we do get a like, hey, here's a bunch of the CBC banners. Same thing with like Gouda Gouda. That's usually how you get a poster girl rate up. The good news about Outrage is you can literally buy Outrage in the Rare Prism shop. Indirectly, but you can buy it. And I have a video on that. I have to finish the event. I don't have an AoE assassin yet. Understandable. The Valkyries are very good. I saw people to the same degree saying that the takes on coming out of JP were really weird. We had first, oh, I hate Tez. His artwork is terrible. Then we had, oh, Tez is actually like the best assassin ever, and y'all should all roll him, which is also like not true because you straight up got Welfare Valkyries a couple months prior. And then finally, and this is the best one, they finally morphed into and evolved into Woo! Which is the only take on Tez. I still don't like second or third artwork, but Tez is good, yeah. Yeah, Tez is not a bad unit. He's actually a really good unit, but like, it's just woo, chat. That's the only thing you need to understand about him. If you're gonna roll for him because of woo. You don't want Tez to call you. But Cad, didn't you read Twitter recently? FGO is terrible because it has so many artists. Listen. Yes, I've seen the post. It's rich because I feel like so many other gacha games have multiple different artists and enjoy the fact that they have multiple different artists. There's definitely some points of contention in that regard where like, hey, yeah, maybe people don't necessarily like a design. Like I've seen people say that they don't like Raiko's design before. I just don't want to hear it from a Genshin person. Eris? Finally something? Hi, Eris. And we have NP5 Eris at least. But yeah, I don't want to hear it from a Genshin, a Genshin fan, where basically, to me, a lot of, and I'm sorry, I hate to say this, chat, because the second I say this, everyone's gonna go like, nuh-uh, there's totally different ones. But yes, the Genshin characters and really MiHoYo characters all look the same. There's definitely some that have different designs, but they're all done in the exact same art style by the exact same art team. It is naturally very samey. That doesn't necessarily make it bad, but yes, I straight up have a difficult time telling the difference between several of the MiHoYo characters at this point. They just look like MiHoYo character A, MiHoYo character B, MiHoYo character C, and that's it. Because they all have these like super elaborate but like samey aspects to their design. Their devs have admitted as much. Yeah. So it's like, I don't really want to hear anything from that community on like the quality or design style of characters when their own producer for Star Rail admitted that they have a problem with how samey their designs are and finding ways to differentiate it. And that's straight up it, right? Like, I'm not going to say that they can't do better. I'm not going to say that like there aren't some units that do stand out. There are. I'm just going to say that they have a huge problem with that, and their own developers admit it. So at that point, yeah, I don't want to hear anything from any of their fan base on like, oh, I don't like the FGO characters. They have style. It's like, you're right. That basically is the criticism. There's a different style existing in our game. Sorry, my capture card is rebooting here, apparently. I like FGO's variety. Yeah, I think there's like some hit or miss aspects to it, right? So don't get me wrong. I don't think it's the it's like, oh yeah, every FGO character looks amazing and is perfect, and there's no way to criticize. I literally don't want to hear it from that fandom. It's the epitome of hypocrisy. Genshin fan base so quick to cancel and turn against their own game. Listen, I'm gonna say this. That's not unique to Genshin. At this point, that's like just about every single fandom if stuff doesn't go their way. Like, FGO absolutely has the same issue at times. I do think the bigger the community, the bigger the blow up, the more frequent they are to occur. But yeah, every community has this to a degree. They're pretty vocal about it. Oh, 100%. And that's that, like, it's having a bigger community echoes it more. That's why it becomes a little bit more of an issue in those other ones. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not saying it's bad. Like, I'm not saying like, oh my god, all of the like MiHoYo characters look like trash. That's not what I'm saying if people are reading that from it. Oh, who cursed me? Who asked that question earlier? Who asked it? Oh! God damn it! It's fine. I'm not actually angry. It's just like, damn it, right? Vari Gray, they go the follow. But yeah, no, again, I'm not trying to say that like, oh, MiHoYo characters look like crap. I'm just trying to say that their style gets very samey. And that's like one of the things that I don't really care too much about it for. I actually like games where I get more customization aspects to it too. And chat, this is wild to me. I have to say this. Gacha games, they're still just like A tier. They haven't gotten to S tier yet. They haven't figured it out. They haven't cracked the code. What do I mean? League of Legends. League of Legends has gacha games beat. League of Legends goes, we're going to monetize skins and cosmetics for those skins. League of Legends is on like a whole nother scum level than gacha games are. And like, it's wild to me that gacha games haven't figured out that like, hey, yeah, what if we let you roll like this super hot character and then you can like customize them the way you want? Just saying. Awful. Yeah, I mean, obviously the hope is that they wouldn't monetize it, but it's a gacha game, so you know they would, right? League is just trash. I can't stand it. I'd hate that, to be honest. No, I mean, I would love the ability to like customize my character, right? That'd be awesome. I get it for something like Fate, right? Like, for instance, if we take Saber, everyone's used to seeing Saber in a certain way, right? I get that. But I think when you start getting into something like the actual MiHoYo games, where, yeah, I'm sorry, your game is not built off a prior existing IP, all of your characters are new, I actually think that'd be a really cool thing that they could add, and it's surprising that they haven't. Yeah, I did see that the Neverness to Everness preview had driving and had customizable cars. Though to be fair, I think Tower of Fantasy, which is their other game by them, also had customizable mounts. So it just seems like they stepped it up a notch. But Ken's on a roll today. I'm sorry. Counterpoint, what if we could do Ibuki in Shuten's outfit? Oh, you mean like in the story? Yeah. I found it funny that they didn't show that. But you could tell that was 100% them trying to get artists to draw that. 50-50, your team is full of toxic asses, or the enemy team is? Oh, yeah. No, you want the truth? It's 100%. Both teams are full of toxic assholes. It's just the team that's winning is less full of them. They have less to complain about because they're winning. And that's the truth. Unless it's like a evenly matched game, then everyone's toxic. Yeah, I mean, Honkai Impact the Third at least seems like it's a traditional gacha game, whereas their more recent games feel like they're not, right? Preset skeleton structure. Yeah, and I know why they do that. It saves them a shit ton of money, and that's 100% why. However, I agree with you, and I think there's no reason that they can't do more, especially with how much money they're making off of it. Why are all the Final Fantasy OSTs out today? I don't know. Someone's just song requesting them. Yeah, I don't know what to think about Zenless Zone Zero, because I have people telling me that it's really good, but like I'm not seeing the like pervasive nature of Zenless Zone Zero compared to like, you know, when Honkai Star Rail launched, when Genshin first launched. Zenless Zone Zero seems to be just like this known and accepted quantity now, but it also feels like it's like not nearly as hype. So I don't, from the outside looking in, I'm just not sure how to feel about the game, like whether or not it's actually good or not. Because like I have people telling me it is, I see people saying it's not, I'm just not sure which it is, right? It's probably just maybe it's a little bit more like down to taste than their other titles. I have no idea. The combat is fun, but is it anything different than like say like Genshin in that regard? Because like I know it's not turn-based like Star Rail is, but story takes a bit to get going. Yeah, I mean, like, I get that. You got to do setup for every story, so. It's just a side grade to Honkai Impact the Third. I feel like Zenless was their way of maybe saying, like, hey, here's your new modernized Honkai Impact, and now you guys can all come play that and leave Honkai Impact the Third behind, and then we don't have to keep supporting it. But I feel like if they actually thought that, they were idiots, because trying to get players to stop playing, like, a game that they've spent, you know, at this point, like, years of their life and maybe, like, you know, hundreds if not thousands of dollars playing, I think that's foolish. I don't think any player worth their salt's going to do that sort of stuff. Zenless has an Impact Third style combat. Yeah, I've heard it's very I've seen people compare it to PGR and say it's more boring than PGR, so I don't know, right? Because I know PGR is very similar to Honkai. Crypt Pika, thank you for the follow, and Saro, thank you for the follow as well. Just imagine when Type Moon wants to end FGO and the JP whales refuse to let it die. So I'm dead serious. At this point, I feel like, you know, and I'm not trying to be doomer here, but I feel like if FGO were to end, like, let's say they were going to say, all right, 10th anniversary is the end of FGO. We're no longer making any new content for it. One, I think they keep the lights on for a little while, And 2, I suspect they eventually convert it into a fully playable offline mode game, which a lot of other gacha games that have closed down have started to do. And I think that's actually a good idea. I do think you'd see that. I don't think they'd just vaporware the entirety of the story that was present in this game. There we go. There's our Ibuki. Nice and easy. So we're a little bit closer to average at this point. We're at about 600 quartz, I think. Not very many heiresses today. Can you host our FGO server for us like in Minecraft? Listen. Yeah, I just assumed that would be the case because this game has been so long running, and I don't think they would want to get rid of all the lore that's present in this game. So I don't think you would expect that FGO would just end quietly like that. I don't think they just go like one day, oh, it's ending, and too bad you're not getting anything else, right? Already have an MLB of that. Actually, you know what? Let's double check. Let's double check my craft essences. So we did get a couple new of the 5-star CE. I still don't think we saw the male 5-star CE, which is kind of nuts. I am just going to go ahead and combine that because, like, I have so many black grails that this is unlikely to be useful. I'll keep a singular copy of it at MLB, but I am not letting it take up more space than that. Huh. Huh. Perfect. Hadn't realized that it happened. It's unlikely that I ever need a second one of that, so I'm not gonna select sort it. Yep, we did MLB it, so I don't need that. Then I think I needed to MLB the 3-star C. Yeah, there's just one more copy of one sitting around here. There it is. Swing. And now the rest goes yeetus. What's the math behind that 300 cent quartz average? I don't know. Ask Bob. He's the one that came up with it. I was under the understanding that it's about like 278, if I remember correctly, but I've been told that it is 300. Hold on. Noble Phantasm. Let's combine the right Ibuki. Now my Ibuki gets stronger. Don't see them ending a game that is always in the top 10 of gross revenue. So the sad part is it's not always in the top 10 of gross revenue. Like maybe at the end of a year, sure. But it definitely falls off hard in between its banners at this point in time. I will say, though, yes, the game is still wildly successful. There's no reason for them to end it. I feel like the only way that they would be if Nasu decided that he no longer wished to write story for it, that the game had gone through its arc, and that the player demand for more story was not there. We'll see. I believe, by the way, that we're already past that point. I think when Nasu gave the interview years ago about the potential ending of the game, he was talking from a standpoint of the game could end at LB7, or they could continue on into something like Ordeal Call. And I think that's where we are right now. So I think they've already extended the life of the game once, and I would expect that they will continue to. Do you really think that the devs would ever let us play this game after they stop support? They aren't making money anymore? Yes, because it would just be an offline version. There would be no server hosting on their end, other than maybe the hosting for people to be able to download it. That it makes too much money, they won't let it end. That too. I've seen a lot of people say that. Thoughts on the newest trailer for Extra Record? It's just a teaser, isn't it? Right? Unless something else came out. That doesn't feel right to me, DL. What would you do in offline mode though, FreeQuest? No, so like, chat, how would an offline mode look? It would literally be you download the game and the game over time just rotates through banners. Like it goes through old events or something like that. But they would need to prep the game for something like that. And well, right now they don't even have the time to do that. So, but do I really think the devs would ever let us play? Yes, 100%. I've seen this with many other Gacha games. Would they still sell Senkorts? Probably not. Like, I would imagine that at that point, if you're no longer running a live service, the sale of additional currency would be considered to be scummy. So there's probably some sort of Japanese law against it. Everyone is cursed to be free to play? Yeah, at that point. Like, if you whaled prior to that point, you would still have everything that you had, but people that would be attempting to, like, continue on from there would have to be free to play. But like I said, I don't anticipate anything like that soon. Wait, what was I doing? Yep, so all of that is getting DOS burn. I did see the news about Mega Man, that they're saying that they want to continue the Mega Man series and basically keep going with it, which I think is a good thing. I think if developers realize that there is love for an IP and demand for more content, they should continue to produce the content for it. They shouldn't just go like, I don't care, it wasn't profitable enough. I think at that point, it's important to try and find an actual, like, midpoint for, like, hey, this is actually like the amount of profit we need from the game versus the amount of cost we need to invest in it. No more GSSRs. How would we go on in? I mean, people have played the game without GSSRs for a long time. Yeah, I mean, so my understanding, and hear me out on this, chat, is that basically you have to consider the 11 spin, right? So, like, essentially for every 30 quartz, right, aka 10 spins, you get an 11th. This 11th is totally free, so it technically reduces the amount overall to hit the quote-unquote average, right? Average is going to be considered to be 50% odds. That definitely fluctuates around, so it really depends. I think there's like no even breakpoint. I think the even breakpoint is like in between a multi. But that's why, like I said, to my understanding, it was something around that point, but don't quote me on it. Crazy to think we didn't have the 11 spin. I mean, I'm happy that they gave it to us. An offline FGO could serve as a monument to people's accounts, or it could be a new game entirely that basically has all the story content events and such and lets you unlock characters through newly implemented system with in-game currency from playing. Yeah, they could definitely try to change it. Like, the amount of quartz rewards you'd maybe get for like daily content would be a lot better, I would assume, at that point, since they would be no longer monetized. I don't think they'll ever beat Dragon Ball Z for continuing story beyond intended. Maybe not. Even crazier that it used to be 40 cent courts. I know. It definitely used to be way shittier. 40 cent courts, no 11 spin, and no pity. We're learning how to loop with no double cast Ryukoi and Skya. I would say you could potentially still have a friend point system, but that might require some sort of like peer-to-peer type crap. So it's like maybe if they made maybe if they made a PC client that hosted it on something like Steam, they could piggyback off something like that, but 86.2964 pulls are required for a 50% chance. So I'm not sure that's entirely correct. Like I said, the number that I remember is somewhere around 278, but I may be wrong. So I don't think it's 340. I don't think it's 250. I think it's somewhere like in the realm of like 300-ish or less, like right around there. But yeah, I don't remember the exact math. And I've had to like talk with people about this before, and I know people often math it wrong. And I'm not like blaming all of y'all, right? Bob said 340 last time. I know, and I don't want to say Bob's wrong, but I feel like Bob forgot something there because I remember we had to talk about this prior. How do we do friend supports if they take their servers down and let us play offline? Yeah, I don't know, right? Like they would have to do something at that point. They would have to like allow it to be piggybacked on somebody else's server or something. Unless you physically connected, unless it went like peer-to-peer, which would be really freaking weird. Like maybe with a friend code you could peer-to-peer connect to somebody else. There's pulls, not sank courts or tickets. Yeah, that's all. Like, technically, there's things like paid La Single and tickets that could, quote unquote, reduce it. I usually just think about it in a term of like 3 courts per spin. Should be 240. I mean, that's even lower now. Is Ryder Suzu decent? She's a Black Grail looper. So yes. I guess they could outright choose any of the max servants, right? Maybe they rebalance it so it only has like guest servants the way Story does. You could do something like that, but I do agree, as people have denoted, that stuff like double Castoria or double Koi and Skya would not be as easy to pull off. Particularly double Koi and Skya is like super necessary to certain strategies. Like, for instance, all of a sudden you take out double Koi and Skya and like half the Buster roster just gets way worse. Like, so that would not be a like good way of handling it. They would have to do something. But I don't know, maybe you can just like pick your support on your own without like maybe you just go like, oh hey, you get a free support unit, you choose what you want it to be, which would definitely be an interesting thing. It's 300 divided by 11 equals 273 for the 1% SSR rate. It's 300 divided by 11, 0.8 for 341. Maybe that's what it is, and maybe that's why I'm getting confused. That may be possible, Persh. So, like, yeah, that could be it. Maybe they are right when they're saying the 340, and I'm remembering the 270 whatever number, and that might be it. So. There's a multiple of 10 I'm missing? That sounds horrendous. $80 multis? No, definitely not 80 multis. Unless you mean 8 multis. 80 pulls. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, hold on. Yeah, because it's what? It's 30 multis to pity, I think. They could let you select whoever you want from the servants and see Spirit Origin list as if it was a story support. Right. So that would be an interesting way of handling it. Like, I'm not going to say it's impossible to do. It certainly is possible to design the game to be fully offline. It's just a matter of them actually sitting down and doing it and whether or not they would wish to at the end of the game. I'm going to say, though, with a game as lucrative and historied as FGO at this point, there would be no way in which that you could just shut that down without raising a huge stink. So they would at minimum feel pressure to do something like that. At minimum, right? Like, whether or not they do it, what form it would take, I don't know. And that's like I said, this is all supposition for a potential future in which like this might be a thing, right? Dugga looks like they are plotting something. Dugga 100% is plotting something. Your demise, chat. You do know Pity's at 330, yeah? Huh? What do you mean? Because like again, 11 spin, right? So it's basically 30 multis equals Pity. Because 30 times 30. 30 times 30 equals that 900. The 990 is the actual. But because it's technically 30 times 30, it's actually going to be like basically you getting an 11 spin instead of every 10 spin, right? Oh my god, chat. Yeah, y'all keep typoing and it's like driving me nutty because I see like 9,000 cent cards. I'm like, ah! Someone asked me before, I'm trying to think about a way to handle something like that. If they do an offline version, I hope they add them. Yeah. 9,000 secrets. Sorry. No, it's all good. I understand that this sort of math is complex and people are trying to type it out really fast. I'm not even really sure how the topic came up. But again, it's why I usually just sit there and like mentally go around 300. So I feel like semantics is just like, it is what it is. Imagine having 9,000 Sankorts. Well, that's been a thing. Actually, I think it was somebody with the new purchase method on JP purchased something like, I believe it was like 40,000 Sankorts. Which is just like JP Whales, man. JP Whales. 40,000, but why? I don't know. I have no idea. They just said like, yeah, hey, I can do it, so why not? I thought the yen was weak. The yen might be weak, but their wallet isn't. When are we getting rollover between pity banners? I hope this Annie, but we'll see, right? Chat, I want you guys to understand, while the developers do not communicate a lot to us, please understand that we just had an actual survey. They got to hear from everybody. They know. They know. Everything that you guys complain about is the same shit on their end, right? Like, so it's going to be the same things get complained about. Definitely the communities have different like tolerance levels for things. But yeah, no, they know. They know people are not pleased with the coin situation. They know people want to see bonding added to in some way, shape, or form. They know FP rolling sucks ass. They know the craft essence leveling system is not good. They know that they want to see more changes to certain like bigger things like events and stuff like that. It is what it is. Everything that you guys can think that you would complain about, somebody on JP probably did. So they've heard it. Whether or not they heed the advice is another thing entirely, but it's definitely a thing. They heard us, but did they actually listen? Right. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say is like they know, but will they? I don't know. And I can't answer that. Fake AF, yeah. Monthly tickets I'm saving now for Breedom Art. I mean, you can always just keep saving. That is your option. All right, chat. We are going to do media share night again. So unfortunately, YouTube, that means I must bid you guys adieu. I obviously cannot continue to stream on YouTube when there might be potential copyright related stuff because there's no way around that. So my apologies, but you guys are more than welcome to come join us on the Twitch side of things. So as always, I will see you guys over here. Obviously, if you guys don't know, I'm Khadroth on Twitch. Same thing as my YouTube, so it's pretty easy for you guys to find me. But yes, we're going to be ending the YouTube portion of stream. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be doing another recording, and we will obviously be having more rolls. So thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.